Hi everyone, good evening. It's about 1 minute past 6 o'clock Central European Time. And my name is Kenneth Muyingo, and I'm coming to you live from my home here in Leiden. I bring you greetings from the leadership of the Ugandan community here in the Netherlands, and I hope all is well. I take this opportunity to congratulate each and every one of you who was able to achieve any level of success in the first half of the year. Today is the 21st, and we're about taking stock. 2025 is officially halfway. How have we done? Congratulations with each and everything that you have achieved. But also, if you have not yet achieved the success you set out to achieve, don't give up. We want to encourage you to keep giving your best shot, and success is guaranteed for sure. And also, I want to take this opportunity to send my condolences to those that have lost loved ones within the community. Particularly, we are in communication with the family of one of us. There is a member of the Ugandan community here who passed away. Her name is Irene Nancha. May God rest her soul in peace. We are still in communication with the family and trying to see how best we can support and arrange uh, the final journey for her as far as this is concerned. But we send our heartfelt condolences to the whole family. And with that said, just to the rest of us that are here, today is a really warm day. I hope you're hydrating. I think it's about 30 degrees. It's pretty much the warmest day so far on the calendar. I don't think it has been hotter than this since the year began. But keep hydrating and take good care of yourself. And want to wish you the very best of luck. Thank you so much for taking time to join us on this uh, broadcast. I have a very special guest. Let me just bring her into the studio, and then we will do the rest of the program together. And I'll just give her the opportunity to say hello to our viewers and listeners, and also to introduce herself. Go for it.
Hello, viewers. Thank you so much, Ken, for hosting me, and I'm so glad. I thank you for this opportunity and the entire CAN team. And thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. I'm Carolyne Nakiryowa, and I live in Landsmeer. I serve in the finance and accounting department, finance and accounting desk in the Netherlands. And I've been in the Netherlands for the past 9 years. I am also an entrepreneur. I'm into business of selling Africa to the rest of the world through fabrics. I make very nice fabric outfits, ready-made outfits, uh, especially for ladies.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So glad to have you, Carolyn. And
Yes.
to our viewers and listeners, if you are watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, we appreciate your engagement. Send us a comment or question. We appreciate your engagement. We are doing this together. We are live in studio, but we are doing this with you because I think the topic today that we're going to be talking about, I think is a timely one because it relates to each and every one of us. And we are talking about financial resilience. So we said financial resilience in the Netherlands, but maybe we should just first put that in context, Caroline. It's not for the government of the Netherlands, but it's for the people who are living here. Specifically, the people we are talking to today are those that are of Ugandan diaspora. If you are in the Netherlands and you are from Uganda, or maybe you're not from Uganda, but you're from another country and you're living here, what we are going to be talking about tonight may be valuable for you. It may not be helpful for the economy of the Netherlands on a bigger scale of things, but on your own personal level, it may be valuable. And if you know a friend who you think may benefit from this, please share it with them. We are just going to get started. And I just want to first of all say thank you to you, Caroline, for making time for this out of your busy schedule and for preparing
Thank you so much.
to be available for this, because I know it takes a lot.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Indeed. And um, just a quick one to just, you did a quick introduction of yourself, but if you could briefly share your connection to Uganda, to the Ugandan community. Uh, you mentioned you're an entrepreneur. You came here 9 years ago. Tell us more about Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline, away from the work and the entrepreneurship, I'm a Ugandan by birth,
Uh huh.
Dutch by citizen,
Uh huh.
and I'm a mother of four beautiful children. I came to the Netherlands, and the first person how I connect to the Ugandan community. I came to the Netherlands, and the first person I met, that's Caroline Crystal, a very active person in the Ugandan community.
Uh huh.
Caroline, I love you so much. I know you're online
Shout
watching.
out to
Yeah.
you, Caroline Crystal. Wow.
Yes, she's a very active member of the Ugandan community, and that's how I joined the Ugandan community. I saw how she's participating, and she gave me the courage to come and join the Ugandan community. But
Yeah.
then also for Khan, a lady called Yvette Wakabi. I love you, Yvette, wherever you are. She
Absolutely
encouraged
amazing.
me to join Khan because
Yeah.
she thought maybe my brain would be an impactful to the community, and as well I would gain more knowledge from the community, and that's how I joined the community. But going back, I'm Ugandan, and by default I must. it, I mean, it's a must for me to be part of the community anyway.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes,
Absolutely amazing.
yes,
Thank you so much. And wow. So, Yvette, shout out to you. Thank you for the introduction and for bringing Caroline into the Khan community. And here we are. We're going
yes.
circle. And today we're talking about financial resilience. If the question would be, what inspired you, or what inspired your interest in financial resilience? Most especially when we're talking about migrant families like Ugandans living in the diaspora.
Yeah, I'll draw it back from my life, previous life in Uganda. I'll
Yeah,
give you a short story that when I was in Uganda, I had this job where I was working and things were going on well until, and yeah, I was earning, but I wasn't saving. I
yeah,
was eating it all
yeah,
until it was an organization that ran out of funding, and
yeah,
we had to be scraped off. I mean,
yeah,
it lost. And just out of the blue, I didn't have a job
yeah,
and I didn't have savings.
yeah.
I ran broke.
Oh
And
my.
then yeah, just when I reflect on how I suffered, I
And
just thought to myself, when I get another opportunity to get money, I'll handle it responsibly.
yeah,
So that's when I transitioned, and then I relocated to the Netherlands. When I came to the Netherlands, I came with it. I
yeah,
came knowing that I have to handle my money responsibly. I
yeah,
must make plans. I have to get a budget. I have to save. I have to have a plan.
yeah,
And that's how I've been living. And specifically for the immigrants, when I came here, when I relocated to Landsmeer, I was let me call it outsourcing. Yeah, I was outsourced by UVV. That's
yeah,
a refugee organization that, yeah, it takes care of refugees
yeah,
uh, in terms of settlement and integration. So I think they were also facing the same challenges with immigrants, that when they relocate and put in houses, they use their money irresponsibly. So I was even attacked. I was I was appointed as a budget coach, and that's how, as a budget coach, I was working with families who are interested, and I was trying to help them manage their debt and manage their expenses vis-a-vis their incomes. So
yeah,
that's how I got the interest working with immigrants, specifically immigrants.
yeah,
And after serving, I served there for a year, and I have testimonies up to now. The
yeah,
clients I had come to me and tell me we made circles, those cash rounds. They
yeah,
up to now have cash rounds where they can save money, even though they are on
yeah,
social, they earn, they're not working, but then still they do save as little as they can, and
yeah.
I'm happy for that. So that's how I got the interest, and here I am. I'm impacting people. I'm helping people change their lives, personal with their personal finances, and yeah.
Absolutely amazing, Edith. Thank you so much for sharing that, because the reality of many people living here in the Netherlands is that they always have too much month at the end of their money. I want us to start there and be honest about it.
Yes,
Most people have too much month at the end of the money.
exactly.
And this conversation may help solve that problem. If you know someone who is always reaching out for a bailout, that they always need some money from somewhere before the month comes to an end, it's not that they're not working, but that something happens that they just always need some money somehow. The conversation we're going to be having tonight may be helpful for them. Please share this with them. Let us know in the comment section where you're connecting from. I'm here in my home in Leiden. And Caroline, where are you connecting from?
In Landsmeer, in
Landsmeer,
Landsmeer, yeah.
exactly. So let us know. I see we have some viewers on. Let's have some engagement. Let us know in the comment section where you're tuning in from, and so that we can just keep this conversation going. Because the truth of the matter is this, that many Ugandan families in the Netherlands are struggling when it comes to balancing their expenses back home in Uganda and here in the Netherlands where they live. And maybe if I may ask you, just to start this off, what are some of the key steps that we should take when creating a family budget?
So, to start with, I'd like to take this conversation as simple as it can be, so that even everyone can understand this. So,
Ah,
let me start by explaining what a budget is in a lay language. A
and then,
budget, and it's a tool that we use in financial management. It's a tool we use in financial management to track our expenses vis-a-vis our income.
yeah,
So with budgeting, you'll understand where your money goes and how from where your income comes from, and at how much you earn and how much you spend, and in what percentages or in what amounts that you spend. So that's what we call budget. Those are budgets.
yeah,
So uh, then I'll go back to what are the steps. But before we go into the steps, let's first understand, what do you require to have a budget?
yeah,
You just require to understand that you expect an income, because you don't make a budget after getting the money or after earning the money. You
yeah,
make the budget before earning.
aha,
And yes, before earning, that's when create that budget and understand, yeah, okay, I expect this amount of money. For example, I expect 200,000, or I expect 20,000, whatever amount it is. And then you understand what are your fixed costs, what are your semi-fixed costs, and what are your variable costs.
yeah,
So this is the budget we are talking about.
and
And
then,
then what are the steps that you have to take? You have to understand, what type of budget are you going to make? We have so many different types of budgets, but then we have to understand what type is is very convenient for me, because it has to be convenient. It has to be sustainable for you and attainable.
yeah,
So I'll give you just two examples of budgets, and one is zero-based budgeting. You start from scratch every month. For example, you make a budget. I earn 2,000 euros, and this is what I spend on, and you list your expenses. And at the end of the month, it must go to zero. Doesn't mean that you're going to zero by expenditure. You can you can make your expenses, and then if you have a balance, for example, of 100 euros, you can throw it into your savings or your emergency fund. It doesn't mean when you have a balance, you spend it because you have a balance. So by the beginning of your second month, your next month, you are at zero.
Yeah.
So that's zero-based budgeting. And then there is another budget type of budgeting where you say to yourself, I can only spend this amount of money. If something is beyond this amount of money, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
For example, if you say this year I'm spending only 200 euros on holiday, beyond any expense beyond 200 euros is not going to be made, because I only have 200 euros. If there is anything, like if it's 180, we thank the Lord, and you take your 20 to the savings. But if it's above 200, it's a no-go zone. That's also a type of budgeting. So what are the steps that you have to take as a family? One, have a budget.
Yeah.
Have a budget. It's very important. You cannot move to a destination that you do not know.
Yeah.
If you're going to Leiden, you need to know where exactly the GPS is taking you to. Which address are you going to? You just can't come from Lansmere and go direct to Leiden. You just need to know, what am I saving for, and at what amounts do I need? That's the first step. Know what you want to save for. Understand what your budget is, and that's the first step. The second step is sitting with your partner, because now we are partners. We are two partners. Yeah, you and your partner. You're all individuals that have different needs and different ambitions. It doesn't mean that your personal ambitions will go into your partner's personal ambitions or aspirations or goals. So if you earn and your partner earns, you should have a level ground and understand that as a family, these are our expenses. This is what we want. This is what these are our needs. These are our wants. These are our saving goals.
Yeah.
And then these are our personal, because if I need a dress, it's a personal. Or if I need to visit my parents or something, it's a personal expense, not my partner's expense.
Yeah.
The same applies to my partner. So we need to understand and let's try and have boundaries.
Indeed.
So that's, yes, it comes from a personal understanding of your partner's goals and your family goals and your family expenses. Then, just like I mentioned before, now create that budget and say, as a family, this is what we're going to spend, and my partner will bring 60% or 90%, depending on how you discuss it, you agree to it. If it's a 50-50, or it depends, or it's a 0-100, it also depends on how you agree to that.
Indeed.
So that's the second thing. The third step is having to know what you want, just like I mentioned, your needs and your saving goals.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a percentage that has always worked for me, and I've always advised people, and I've got results. I've had results from them. It's a 50, 30, 20 percentage, and being
50,
that
30,
50,
20 percentage.
yes. So that makes 100.
That makes 100.
The needs will take the 50%.
Yeah.
The wants will take the 30%, and the saving will take the 20%.
Uh-huh.
But as income increases, or as someone goes on, or a family goes on earning more and more, the
Yeah.
percentage, the saving percentage, and the saving percentage and the wants percentage alternate. So the savings will be 30 and the wants will be 20.
This, I want you to pack this right here. We're going to have a say as when we talk about savings. I really want us to get into this part because I believe there's something here. Go on.
Yes, so that's that, because it's budgeting.
Yeah.
It switches into the saving part, because you need to budget
Yeah.
as you need to budget for your needs, you need to budget for your savings, you need to budget for your wants.
So it
And
all
then,
starts with budgeting, from what I'm understanding.
yes, it all starts from budgeting.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes, yeah. And also from there, you get a separate expense account.
Yeah.
Yes. So such that you don't mess up things. You just
Have
get
a
a
separate
separate.
expenses account.
Yes.
Amazing. This
So,
is
and
really valuable. Uh-huh. Keep going.
the next step is automating your budgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm very I know about is our banks are very they have the system where you can automate your budgets. For me, I use ANH, and it has my budget, and it tells me actually when I overspend, it gives me a red on my budget. You've overspent by this amount, or you've overspent by this percentage.
Yeah.
So families can also have that.
Indeed.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are the steps that they can take when budgeting.
Absolutely amazing. This is good.
Automate, such that actually with automation, it makes life easier.
Yeah.
That it gives you an alert on your phone when you're spending, because now when you're using your cards, everyone is using their phones, and when you swipe your card, you'll get a notification from your bank. Hey,
Exactly. Yeah. You
you're
spend this
going to
much.
trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you will stop and hold yourself. It
This is
helps
good.
the budget. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is have a budget. The second
Yeah.
one, you have to sit with your partner about it, and then know what you want, your needs, and your saving goals. And then you spoke about having a separate expenses account and then automating your budget.
Yes.
This is valuable stuff. I mean, I don't know what you guys think that are listening, but this, I think, is really practical and valuable information that, uh, I mean, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And just moving on, and Andrew Sendiwa said he is connecting with us from Delft. We see you, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining. And the rest of you, if you have a question or a comment, please put it in the comment section. Would appreciate engagement. We just don't want to be here talking to ourselves. You can join the conversation through the comment section, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll be able to pick up your comments right here in the studio. But going back to you, Carolyne, about couples, you spoke about saving or financial goals. How can couples align their financial goals to avoid conflict, most especially when they're managing money across two countries? You find a situation that you have a partner who is Ugandan. If you are lucky, your partner is Ugandan. If you are very lucky, your partner may be from a different country than you. Then if you are extremely lucky, your partner may be from a different continent. I'll just say it like that. Because I don't want to complicate situations. How can couples align their financial goals to avoid conflict, most especially when they're managing money across two countries or continents?
Thank you, Ken. Managing money comes from a place of communication.
Aha.
From a place of communication, not anywhere else.
Yeah.
You sitting down as a couple from the time, actually, okay, if you hadn't done it before and now you're watching this podcast, I mean, no offense, but then you now need to sit as a couple and understand, yes, I'm Caroline, we have this number of children and we are a couple, but then I have we have we have our own expenses, we have our own needs as a family, and then I have my father or mother that I need to take care of. You need to
Yeah.
be open to your partner.
Yeah.
I have a parent that I have responsibilities, and some of the responsibilities, these are the things that I need to take care of. If it's family, I need to take care of my family.
Yeah.
So such that when your partner expects that, because there is a place where your partner would expect a certain amount of money, and
Yeah.
when they see that you're not contributing as expected, it will bring a scuffle.
Yeah.
But if you have if you sit and discuss this, and they understand that, yes, I earn 5,000 euros, but then I have a family that needs maybe 40% of my expense, my money, or I have a sick parent, then they'll understand that this amount of money goes to their parent.
Yeah.
So that's a ground that we need to start from as couples.
Yeah.
Yes. Without that, I'm telling you, money will separate us as couples.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if there is no communication, no one will be will be held liable, because there was no communication.
Indeed.
And yes, and if you're not open about your finances, there would be scuffles. So you need to be open. One, you need to be open about your responsibilities. Two, you need to be open about you need to be open about your finances, how much you earn.
Yeah.
Yes,
Indeed.
how much you earn, as much, yeah. Or
Absolutely amazing.
yes, how much you earn is, if you can be open to me about your, if you can give me your body, trust me with your body.
Yeah.
It means you can also, because the body is more important than the money.
Yeah.
Yes, so you need to be open to me about finances as well.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly. That's a good
yes,
one. That's a really good one. A really, really big one. Thank you so much.
yes.
And just
So
coming back to you, Andrew says I would love for you to talk about the black tax and how to manage it. Andrew, stick around. We have this on our conversation tonight. Stick around. The black tax is coming up. But coming back to you, Caroline.
yes,
So
so
if you can trust me with your body, you can trust me with your money.
yes, uh,
Aha.
yeah, because I mean, what else? If you've opened up to me, your
Yeah.
body, you've opened up to me, then why don't you open up your bank account and let me know? You know what? I
Yeah.
earn 5,000, but now
Yeah.
this 5,000 is not yours. I
Yeah.
have responsibilities back home, because we are all immigrant. We are in the diaspora. We came knowing that we have goals. We found ourselves in the diaspora. I
Yeah.
came personally with my personal goals,
Yeah.
and he came personally with his personal goals,
Yeah.
which he has to attain. I have to be understanding. But
Yeah.
if a partner does not open up about their goals, it becomes difficult
Yeah.
as a couple. And then next, understanding your responsibilities
Yeah.
as couples. Understand your responsibilities. If my responsibility, you have shared responsibilities if you can, and that depends on how you negotiate as a couple. And yes, understanding your, if my responsibility is doing grocery shopping and financing that, let that be.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Absolutely amazing.
so
Good.
there, I don't think there will be any rivalry in couples if they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it comes back to communication. Communicate.
Communication.
Don't, yes,
Communication.
don't close yourself. Don't hide anything.
Yeah.
Be honest.
It's that's really good advice, and thank you so much for sharing. And coming back to budgeting, what are some of the most common budgeting mistakes you've seen, and how can families avoid them?
Yeah, the most common, it should be actually one or two.
Yeah.
Not having budgets.
Not having a budget is the most common budgeting mistake.
Exactly.
This is good.
Not having a budget is the most common mistake.
Yeah. That you just spend before you know it, the money is finished and the month is still
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. And by the 15th, I've seen families that by the 15th of the month they start texting you. You know what? I need like €100.
Yeah.
You'll give me. I'll give. You'll send me a ticket on the 20th.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I usually ask them, what are you going to spend this money on?
Yeah.
I have a subscription that is a lot thing, and then I need to do grocery, but then I don't. And then you ask them. I mean, because now when you send me a tiki, I want to help you if there is, because I don't want you to come back to me. I want to solve that problem if there is. I want to solve that problem by giving you the money, but also equipping you with
Help
knowledge.
you.
I
Exactly. To
help
help
you.
you with the knowledge
If
you
you
need.
if you tell me my children do not have grocery, or they're missing something, and that if that something is not an emergency,
Yeah.
I'll ask, how do you budget for your money? If especially I know that you earn, how
Yeah.
do you manage your money? How can I help you such that you don't back to me as a family? You don't come to me. You don't come back to me, and such that we help each other and lift each other. So not having a budget is the biggest mistake I've seen. Secondly, I've spoken about the three categories: the needs, the wants, and the saving and investment.
Yeah.
Now, what most people do with budgeting, they make their wants their needs, and they miss out on the saving. And because our want, what is a want? A want is something that you can do without.
This is good. Keep going.
Yes, it's something that you can do without. A
Yeah.
need, you must have it.
Yeah.
For example, if yeah, a person who, I mean, electricity is a need. You need to have electricity, so
Yeah.
that's a need. You need to have food.
Yeah.
That's a need. You need to have rent. That's a need.
Yeah.
It's a need.
Yeah.
But then, if you tell me, you know what, my shoe, I don't have that second shoe. It doesn't look good, and you
Uh,
put it in a need,
uh,
then it becomes a problem.
yeah.
Yeah, it really becomes a problem, and
You have
most
10 pairs of
people,
shoes and you
yeah,
say you need
most
another pair of shoes.
yeah, most people put their pairs of shoes into the needs.
Yeah, but
So
it's a
you need
want.
to understand what are the needs, and you need to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to be as honest as you can
And
when it
then,
comes to finances, when it comes to budgeting. So that's one mistake I've seen. People are not honest with their spending, with their budgeting. For example, you budget and then you say, I need to have a holiday, which is okay.
yeah.
And then you underestimate your budget for the holiday. And then you tell me I need to go to Uganda, for example. I'll say Uganda, and for example, I'll need €600 to spend in Uganda. But then when I tell you, just break down your 600, how you're going to spend your €600, you'll check that the €600 is not enough for you.
Yeah.
Before you
It's not
know it,
realistic.
yes, it's not realistic. It's not.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll grab your savings or you'll start going into debt because the €600 was not enough.
Yeah.
So that's another mistake. Be realistic, have budgets, and understand what your needs are, what your wants are. Don't cross over things. You'll be at peace.
Indeed. Absolutely amazing. And somebody was asking how they can comment. So if you're watching on YouTube, there is a comment section below the live broadcast. If you comment there, we'll receive your comments in the studio. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment on Facebook and we'll be able to receive your comments in the studio. Thank you so much, Caroline. This is good. This
Yeah,
is good.
just to add on, there is one. There are other two mistakes. Another mistake with budgeting is looking at society and wanting it to manage your budgets.
Yeah.
So we have,
It's a good one.
yeah, we have a tendency of dragging society into our budgets.
Yeah.
Because society thinks you need to have a dress of 100 euros because of the amount of money you're earning or the organization you're working with, and they expect you to put on in a certain way,
Yeah.
to put on a certain Zara dress.
Have
But
iPhone 20.
your budget does not allow you to do that. And then you start fixing your budget, you start fixing your budget, you start fixing your dress into the needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also not adhering to your budgets.
Yeah.
You make a proper budget, a very nice one, and you start, I call it, you start cheating on it.
You start cheating on your budget. Wow.
You
That's
cheat on your budget.
that's a good one indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. This is good. I want us to talk about a bit of going into the savings strategies. We mentioned earlier about the budgeting, the 50, the 30, and the 20.
Yeah.
So saving, I want us to just zero in a bit on that because this is where I think most people struggle, because when they think about saving, by the time they want to save, all the money is gone. They're like, okay, where do I start saving? Yeah. So saving can be tough when we are talking about living abroad. You're having to pay all these expenses, and then you are also having some responsibilities on the other side of the world. What are some practical tips that you can recommend for Ugandans in the Netherlands to be able to build a saving habit? Build a saving habit.
Yeah. Ken, thank you. Saving. Saving is really hard if you do not want to. I'm sorry to say that. If you do not want, and the not wanting is some things are very deliberate. And when I look at saving, I'll just say save. I have a principle that says sasaye.
Go say that again.
Sasaye. SASAYE. Save as soon as you earn.
Aha.
Yeah,
Save
so
as soon as you earn.
Yeah. When I receive my salary, I say sasaye.
Yeah. So you save first, and then you spend what's left.
Yes, I remove my 20%, and then I start struggling with the 80.
Yeah.
Yes, and I start struggling with the 80, and in that 80, that's why I fix in my family back home.
Yeah.
Now, let me just take back to the family back home. When my budget says back home, I must send 200 euros. I have a budget of 200 euros per month.
Yeah.
It is that. And I'm very strict to it. And I'm happy that I'll talk personally, my family over time has adapted to my principles.
Yeah.
If I say I must give you 100,000 Ugandan shillings per month, I mean, that's what you're supposed to use.
Yeah.
If I can manage to work within my means here, it means that 100,000 Ugandan shillings is also enough for you until the next month.
Yeah.
That also applies to other to the societal needs. That includes the societal needs. So if my budget for home is 200 euros, that should be it. You're
Yeah.
not going to come back to me and tell me, you know what, we need another 100 euros or 50 euros because this and this within the month. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, my dear, it's not there.
They
And
call
you know
you.
what, Ken?
They call you and they say, "Grandmother swallowed the razor blade."
They will die and we bury them, unfortunately. Yes, because even if I don't send the money next month, they will survive. They will survive until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not the clan head.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you just need to be strict with your finances. That's why it starts from. And when you're strict, they'll understand and they'll tell you, that person is mukonogam.
Mm.
Yes, they'll understand that you do that like that. But you know, you can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to first fill your cup and then start pouring it to others, into
Indeed.
others' cups. Yeah. So you just need to understand, yes, I have 200 euros and this is my budget. This is where I can stop, and this is what they should work within. And
Indeed.
also, don't let them know that it's 200 euros or this a certain amount of money, because they'll make sure that they use it all.
Yeah.
And they'll just how much is a euro? Now she has sent us 200,000, maybe 100. You got
Yeah.
100 euros, and they'll come back asking for more because
That's
they know
only
you're
for
not
you to
up to
know.
their budget.
Yeah. You don't tell them how much your budget
No,
is. For
don't tell
example,
them.
if I have someone that I give 50 euros out of the budget of 200, they shouldn't know that the budget that I have on my side is 200 euros. For them, it's 50 euros and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, be strict.
Yeah.
You even if they tell you that you're mukonogam, you don't want to spend, you forgot us. They'll say all the words from the start. They'll say, she forgot us when she became rich. You know, she forgot Uganda. She doesn't know that it's us who will bury her.
Yeah.
They'll do everything, but you know what? They'll stop talking, and they will keep going,
Yeah.
and life will go on.
Indeed.
And you will just be honest with yourself and support them at a level that you can.
Indeed.
So going forward, after having that, after solving the home problems, that's now home. Go back to yourself and say, yes, now I'm saving 20%. Then be honest with yourself. If it's 20%, let it be 20%, nothing less. It can be more, but nothing less.
Yeah.
Because you see, there is a saying that you can if you want to rest in a tree shade in your old age, you have to plant that tree when you're still young,
Yeah.
such that it grows.
Yeah.
If you do not save now, there is no way you're going to rest in that tree shade when you're old.
Indeed. Wow.
No,
It's
you
not
need to.
possible.
It's not possible.
Indeed.
You need
This
to
is
save
very
for
good.
that. You need to save for the rainy days.
Yeah.
There are rainy days that are coming.
Yeah.
You need to save for them.
Yeah.
Then also, with the savings, we have different types of savings. They are short term. You save for a goal, first of all.
Yeah.
You've got to save for a goal. You just don't, if you save far, if you just save like that, money like that, a problem that you may call a problem will come up and you'll grab your savings. But if you save for a specific goal, it must be that goal. And you must spend depending on the goal you set. For example, we have different goal. Yeah, we have different saving goals: the short term, mid term, and long term. So for the short term, for example, your child, you have a child and they are having a birthday at a certain at a certain date. I mean, that's something. Or you need a shoe.
Yeah.
Or you need a dress. You have to save for it. A dress of 100 euros if you want
Yeah.
to buy a dress. That's a short-term goal. You can say, yeah, every month I'll be saving 20 euros for this dress. I mean,
Yeah.
that's short-term. And then you need to have a separate account for that.
Yeah.
Technology has made life easier for us because you can easily do that on your phone. If it's a midterm saving goal, you need to understand, yeah, what midterm saving goal do I need? I'm turning 40 and I need to throw a party.
Yeah.
Don't start disturbing people with contributions. Yet
Yeah.
you knew from well long when you're 1 year that you will get to 40 years and then you
You
start
want to
telling
throw a
people.
big party.
I mean, you need to throw a big party. No one has asked for the party. That's a
Mhm.
midterm goal. You need to save for it and understand, yeah, let me take 2 years, save for this big party, and
And you start
you're
calling
good to
people,
go.
asking for contributions.
Yeah. And then we have the long-term goals, and those are if you're saving for a deposit,
This
then
is good.
those are long-term deposit for your house. Those are long-term goals that you
And
need
then,
to save for.
most definitely.
Yes. So, and how do we save? We have circles. We have cash rounds.
Yeah.
Yes, if for someone who is very who is very lazy or not really who cannot really handle their money, you can join those circles. Of
Yeah.
course, you need to understand that people are not trustworthy as you are, so
Yeah.
you need to choose your circles very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can choose those cash rounds, and you can get a lump sum of money.
Yeah.
It helps. You
When
can
it's your
you can
round
join.
to
Yes,
receive.
when it's your round, you
Yeah.
can join unit trusts. There are quite a number of saving uh structures that you can make.
And if you
Yes,
are able, you can also just set up a savings account on your own bank app and be able to put money there. If you
yes,
have the discipline, if you've mastered the discipline for it.
yes, and also the other tip that I can give is delayed gratification.
Indeed.
Yeah, if for example if you need a dress or or you need to buy a phone, a new phone,
Yeah.
you need you yeah first think twice. Do I really need this?
Do I need this? Exactly.
And what I usually do, I have a daughter who is 19 years. She usually
Wait, 19 years.
yes,
Wow.
19 years.
You had her when you were two?
No, I was 21 when I had her.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes. So
I wouldn't
when
believe that you have a 19-year-old, but that's a topic for another day. Go on, please.
when I discussing certain things with my daughter, I tell them, let's give it a week or two and first think twice if we really need this,
Yeah.
if we really need the money. I
Yeah.
mean, if we really need something. For example, if it's a phone, you say, I need a phone. Do you really need it?
Yeah.
Think twice. Take a
Yeah.
week, take a month before
Yeah.
buying it. And before you know it, if a month elapses, you realize, no, I didn't need it.
I
It
didn't
was
need
just
it. I just
impulsive.
wanted it. Eh,
Yes, I just wanted it. It was just impulsive. If I could take this whole month without having it,
Yeah.
then I can
But I
take
don't
another
get
year
it.
without having it, or another
Exactly.
6 months as I save for it.
Indeed.
Yes.
This is good.
So delayed gratification is also important.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
just to come back to you on this, Shami said it's very true. Societal pressures influence our finances. While we're talking about the issue we're talking about earlier,
yeah,
and then I really loved Lindsay Wase. She added a contribution here that when we're talking about the black tax, I think this is in line with that. She just says, I tell them I have it, but I can't give it to them because I have personal responsibilities. Just
exactly.
boom,
And you
there it
have to
is.
be You have to be honest with them and with yourself,
I,
because
I have money, but it's not yours. I have other
Mhm.
things to take care of. Yeah, because
And they will understand it that way.
so, because if you tell them I don't have, they will not believe you. Uh, that I like Lindsay had a question here, and I
Yeah.
think it leans back into what you were talking about earlier, that people have it easy with trusting their bodies with their partners, but not their money. And I think this is what Lindsay is talking about. She says, where did this culture of not talking about finances openly come from?
It it tradition forces us not to talk about finances because of different because of expectations.
Yeah,
We expect our partners to take care of us, not which is not bad,
yeah,
and we skip, because you see, can we speak we got to we can take HIV tests as a partner, as partners.
yeah,
We take hepatitis B tests and we do all the screening, and
yeah,
then we discuss about how many children we want to have. But in most cases, partners do not talk about finances.
yeah,
What are expectations
yeah,
as partners
and
when it
then,
comes to finances? I don't know why, but we skip that.
yeah,
We skip that.
we skip it.
And I think it's a culture, it's a tradition that is inbuilt in us, and we just need to break that bondage.
Yeah,
We need to be honest.
indeed.
Yeah, it starts with us. It starts with us.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
but
yes.
going back to savings, Ken, let me just sorry, let me just bring in something very important.
Yes,
As
please.
families, when it comes to savings, let it start with our children.
Yeah.
Yes, I want
Ooh,
to emphasize this.
that's a good one.
If we had been introduced to this saving culture and
Yeah,
budgeting as
yeah,
young as we as maybe 1 year, when we had just gotten that tooth out and keep our money, and then we wouldn't have faced challenges we are facing now.
oh, yes.
So, as parents, especially immigrants, we need, now that information is all over, we need to sit down, to sit our children down and start talking to them about money, because I mean that's where the culture comes from. We never talk about money, even our parents never talked about money. We
Yeah,
only saw our parents paying school fees, and then we didn't know where the money comes from and how to save it.
yeah,
Let's go back to the body to let's go back to the foundation
yeah,
of informing our children that they need to save,
indeed.
teaching our children that when you get 10 euros, you need to save this amount of money, and we give them reasons. We have to be intentional.
Yeah,
And because they will, if we do not do that, they'll have the same challenges we are facing now.
yeah,
Unfortunately, as immigrants, the whites have done that, because I've seen whites. I've interacted with how whites and how they manage money, finances in their homes. Most
yeah,
of them say do this as when the children are young. They
yeah,
have piggy banks.
yeah,
They don't spend the way they want.
yeah,
You need to tell your child, you know what? You're asking for a cadoche,
yeah,
but then you got some money back when on your sixth birthday. Where did the money go to?
yeah,
If they bought sweets, you need to tell them you're not getting a cadoche,
yeah,
because you spent all your money. Next time you get your money, learn to save it such that you can buy yourself something you need
yeah,
or you want.
exactly.
From there, they will respect their piggy banks, they'll respect their money. And just a tip, if you're a working parent, expose your children to money.
Yeah,
If you earn, for example, on the 20th or on the 23rd, you've earned your money, your paycheck has come up. For me, what I do, I I I I I I pay my children depending on the years they have. I
Yeah,
have a 6-year-old. She'll earn €6 per month.
yeah,
I've done that since they were children.
yeah,
And if they ask me for example, a friend has a birthday, I'll tell them, how much is your budget? How much do you need?
yeah,
They'll tell me, Mommy, I need this, I need that. And I'll tell them, yeah, that's €10, but I mean, the budget for gifts is €5. You know
yeah,
that. We can't spend more than €5 on a gift we're giving out. Yes,
yeah.
Mommy. Okay. Let's go and look for a gift which is within
5 years.
our, yes.
Yeah,
And I've just realized today, I went and they picked a gift of €3.
yeah,
So they're saving their €2.
yeah,
And I told them, you know what? You know our budget. We don't have the money.
yeah. Because if it's a
You
6-year-old and they spend €5, now they have €1 left.
exactly. So they'll look for that.
Good.
They'll look for a gift worth their money.
This is
So
good.
let's start from there.
Yeah,
Let's reconstruct the foundation.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Indeed. I think it's
let's
very important because
and
if
also
that
let's stand
conversation is
and
not
know.
introduced early, things just get messed up along the way. But thank you
Yes,
so much. And Sheila asked an interesting question here. I know we may not have time for it, but I wanted you to hint on it. What are some of the short-term investments one can make here to supplement on one's salary in case their earnings aren't enough?
I can answer that, Ken.
Yes, please.
It's very important not to have. If it's very important to have more than one income stream.
Yeah,
What I've done personally, now I'll share this at a personal level. Yes, I'm an accountant. That's my 9 to 5 job. But I realized I looked through the space Netherlands, and I
yeah,
realized people need African fabric, already
yeah,
made African fabric, nice fabric, but they can't get it.
yeah,
3 years back, I think 4 years back, I started selling African fabric. Slowly
yeah,
by slowly, I started bringing 20 pieces, they were taken.
yeah,
And yeah, I brought 30 pieces, they were taken. Now I ship in dresses and dresses, and before you know it, they are all taken. Actually,
yeah.
they booked them before
Even arriving.
when they were in Ghana, before arrival.
Yeah,
That's another income stream that supplements my savings
salary.
or my smart. Yeah, that funds my savings or my expenses.
Yeah,
But also we have skills. Do you know that most people are looking for chapatis?
yeah.
They don't have time to make chapatis.
They just want to eat it. They don't have
Yes.
they don't have time to
So
make it. They just want to eat.
if you can cook, use your kitchen, because
Yeah,
either way you'll pay the bill. Use
yeah,
your kitchen. Make chapatis, make nice mandazi, make samosas. Tell your friends that I have samosas, I have this, I can cook, I can bake, I can. Before you know it, you'll have customers. That
exactly.
supplements your income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good. And also just to add to that, there's many things that can be done online right now with the digital space. That the world is become digital, and this conversation I think we're going to follow up on. Sheila, thank you so much for the question, because actually the next UCN Connect is in line with this, and we will also have another session with Carolyne specifically about investments and the different opportunities that are available. But we will be coming back to you as far as this is concerned. And moving on, I think we're already 1 hour into this, and
Oh my God.
I cannot believe how fast the time is going. Oh my God!
Oh
And
my God.
no, they say time flies when you're having fun. But I want us to talk about debt management,
Yeah.
Caroline, because many migrants There is even people that I know in my network who are relying on loans and credit cards to cover for emergencies. That when they have an emergency, if their credit card cannot bail them out, they have to take a loan. Because if they have an emergency that is costing 2,000 euro, they don't have it. They don't have it. How can Ugandan families manage debt wisely without falling into a cycle?
Yeah, one thing is accepting that you have debt.
Yeah.
The second thing is accepting that you maybe wrongly spent, made mistakes somewhere, somehow with your finances.
Yeah.
It comes from a place of acceptance.
Yeah.
That, you know what, you just speak to yourself, you know what, Caroline, we
Yeah.
made a mistake.
We messed up.
Financially, we messed up. Okay, now how do we go ahead with it?
Yeah.
Look at what your income is. If possible, cut your expenses and see how much you can save to pay the debt. Accept that you need to pay the debt, but don't run away from it.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people that are running away from debt, but the system does not allow you to run away from that debt. It will get you.
It will catch you. Yeah.
It will catch you somewhere, somehow, and you will lose everything. You lose your house. You will be homeless. Do not run away from debt.
Yeah.
Accept.
And then
Go back to the drawing board and negotiate your credit man. That's credit management. I mean, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
If it's the lasting list, call them and tell them, you know what, I can only pay
this is what I can afford.
Money.
Yeah.
And
Out of
you
the
be
budget
honest.
you've made. Yeah.
Be honest with yourself, and let me tell you, they will accept as long as you are consistent with your payments. Even if it's €5, they will accept. And you just tell them, you know what, my income does not allow me to pay you more than this amount. Please, I'm going to be consistent enough to make sure that I pay €5 or €10 per month until this debt is paid fully.
And then,
but if you run away, they will chase you. And before you know it, you'll be chasing yourself. You'll chase yourself away.
Indeed. You will lose everything.
Exactly.
So the best thing to do is to just own it.
Yes.
And face it and try to solve it rather than running away from it.
Yes. Secondly, negotiate. Yeah, that's I've been talking about negotiation. Negotiate the terms.
Yeah.
Yes, but also you need to look at if there are subscriptions. Most of them come from subscriptions, or look at if there are any subscriptions that you don't need that are leading you to debt. Cancel them. Talk to the company. Tell them, you know what, I subscribed. Now I have this debt, but I can't pay it lump sumly. Let me pay it in installments. But before you do that, you unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of the subscription. A few years back, I subscribed to a sports club.
Yeah.
But then I didn't have time. I had babies, I had a career, and I didn't have time. And before you know it, for the whole year, I went to this gym, I think thrice.
For the whole year.
For the whole year.
Subscription was
but
running.
My money was going. I almost ran into debt because my budget for that wasn't giving me an allowance to pay for that subscription.
Yeah.
I stopped the subscription, and I requested them to deduct a certain amount of money that wasn't in the subscription agreement, and they accepted. Eventually, I paid the debt.
Indeed.
Yes. So you can go back, discuss, negotiate, cancel those subscriptions that you don't need.
Yeah.
Because they lead to debt.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll have surpassed all the debts. Also, look at the categorize your debts. There are debts that have a higher interest rate. There are those that we get from friends.
Yeah.
There are those that we get out of excitement or from different companies. Just categorize them. And for me, what I advise is to first pay the small debts, the small monies, because they give you motivation.
Yeah. The
They
low hanging fruit, if we could call it
just
like
Yes, if it's 20 euros, you pay it. Then
pay.
you pay, if you have 10 debts, then the 20 euros is off. Then you have nine, and then you pay the next one next month. Then you just give yourself a plan, make a plan to pay the debt,
Indeed.
and then communicate to the people. It's important. Communicate to people that you're indebted to.
Yeah.
Communicate to them. Tell them, you know what, I'm in this situation, but I'm willing to pay. Just give me some time, and I'll pay you at this on this date, and please make sure you pay them.
Yeah.
Keep your word.
Indeed.
Yes,
And just going back to the budget, for example, that you mentioned, the 50, 30, and 20. If it is that you find yourself in debt, for example, you can say you're going to do 50 for your needs, 30 for your wants, and maybe 10 for your debt management and 10 for savings for a time.
exactly.
And then you, out of that 10%, you can negotiate with the people that you have to pay and say, I can pay this much per month. And then you make sure that that is paid so that you can get out of the red, because it's not a good place to be in, most
No,
especially when we are living in the diaspora.
exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll miss out on so many things. You at a certain point, you'll want to get a loan, maybe a mortgage, and then they'll look at your credit worthiness, and it will be alarming.
It will,
You'll
yeah,
miss out on
exactly.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. This is good. I want us to talk about the topic that Andrew was asking about, the
Black
black
dog.
tax. The black tax. This is a major concern for many people living in the diaspora, even for Ugandans. The truth be told, this is something we have to talk about.
Yeah.
How can we, as Ugandans or Ugandans in the Netherlands, be able to support our families back home without sacrificing our own financial stability?
Uh, we've partially discussed this in our
Yes.
early stage of this discussion, and I made it clear that with black tax you have all the control in your hand. You have all the control.
Yeah.
The ball is in your hands 100%. Because
Yeah.
let me tell you, with black tax, even if you didn't exist, they would survive.
Yeah.
They would survive.
Yeah.
So if they have a strict budget for them
Yeah.
and adhere to it, and let that budget make you happy, not them happy.
Yeah.
It has to be for you,
Not for them.
not for them.
Yeah.
If you can manage, because I mean, you're not the only person in that clan or in that family.
Yeah.
You're not. You're
And
not the
sometimes
only.
they've not even checked on you the whole year, and they call you when they have a problem. They say, my wife is going to give birth. I'm like, okay.
And we issuing out that money gives them the authority, and uh, gives them the authority to have ownership of our money.
Yeah.
I mean, they think that they're entitled. It gives them some bit of entitlement.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not on it crosses through to all African countries.
Yeah.
Just like I told you, I've worked with different nationalities. I worked with different nationalities, and when you looked at their spending habits, I sent my mother this amount of money, my mother's grandchild, my auntie, this one who helped me. So it's not just about us. I don't know, it's just something that we need to to work through as Africans. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, if you are strict
Yeah.
and you just set your boundaries with black tax, they
Yeah.
will respond to it and they will be happy. They will understand that for a function, we expect this amount of money from Caroline.
Yeah.
And because you've shown them a pattern
Yeah.
of the amount of money you're ready to spend on functions, on
Indeed.
your parents. Even your parents, let me tell you, they are not entitled to your finances
Yeah.
because they are your second family. Your children are your first family. You wouldn't want to be a parent who is going to give a burden to your children, just
Yeah.
like your parents are giving a burden to you.
Yeah.
So you need to break that chain
Indeed.
now.
Indeed.
Start
This is good.
now. Tell
So
them, you know what? I
yeah.
can't manage. I can't manage. And be honest with yourself, I can't manage, and sit back and relax. And you
Yeah.
see how they solve the problems.
Yeah.
Their problems. Yeah. That's
Indeed.
how I manage black tax.
Indeed. This is good. So they call you and they say you are my only hope.
Mm-mm,
But they have not checked on you for the whole year. They
mm-mm.
call you
I'm not
when
their only hope. Let them find hope elsewhere. Let them pray to God.
indeed. This is good.
If
Thank you
God
so
is
much.
my only hope, let
Yeah.
them also God be their only hope. I'm not God. I'm
Indeed.
not
Indeed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really love this. You have to be strict. You have to set boundaries. You have to have a budget,
Mm-hmm.
and then to be open, to just communicate and say, hey, look, it's not there right now. I really like what Lindsay just said. You just tell them, I have, but I can't give it to you because I have personal responsibilities. Sorry. Sorry,
Yeah,
not sorry. Just,
sorry.
yeah. So yeah, I really like what you're sharing here. And I hope our viewers are also getting some value as far as this is concerned. And Lindsay says, advise us about how to get a mortgage. We're going to get into this in a moment, Lindsay. But just looking at uh, this issue of the black tax, these are some very practical strategies that you just be strict, you set boundaries for yourself, that you just be open, and then you have a budget that you're working with as far as this is concerned. So people know that, hey, as far as this is concerned, this is what you can expect from this person. And maybe, if I may ask, have you seen successful strategies where individuals have turned this whole issue of black tax into a sustainable support system? For example, like instead of having to send money to someone every month, that you, for example, you help them set up a business.
Ken, that I've seen someone. I've seen people personally. I tried it when I just come,
Yeah,
and it worked for a few months, and they
yeah,
still came back to me.
yeah,
And for some people, you can be deliberate and tell them what can you do,
yeah,
and then they give you their plan. They give you their plan, what they can do, the business plan, and if it's within your budget, you give them the money.
yeah,
But what I made sure is when I give you that money, you don't come back to me for good.
yeah,
Unfortunately, the people I gave money to came back to me and told me, you know what?
yeah,
I don't have rent.
yeah,
And unfortunately, they never opened up those businesses.
yeah,
They just used it because they know still next time they'll come back to me to
yeah,
get that money from me. And what someone told me, I don't have rent, and the electricity, now electricity in Uganda. Now I need to buy something for the solar panels for my.
yeah,
I mean, they give a lot of excuses, and I stopped. I don't open businesses for people.
Yeah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money there, and it's a mistake that I made. I've not had any successful story
Yeah.
for a person who opened up a business or a sustainable venture, and it's still running, and they never came back to them.
Yeah.
No, at least I'm yet to hear a successful story. My hopes are still high.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes,
Wow,
my
this is
hopes are,
good.
so I've not
This is
for now.
good.
Yeah,
And thank you so much for sharing that. Going back to Lindsay's question about advise us about how to get a mortgage. And I think this goes back to debt management. And this, in terms, we could talk about if we're talking about a mortgage, it could be classified under good debt.
yeah. A mortgage is a good debt, and it's a long term. We could take it as a long term goal.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm a candidate to mortgaging.
Yeah.
Uh, but what I did was, one, I identified areas that, because I'm not an expert, but I'll give you practical information.
Yeah.
I identified areas that I wanted to stay in.
Yeah.
I looked at, there is this uh, app called Funda.
Yeah.
I looked at Funda. I looked at the houses I need. I really want, or that would be appealing to me,
Mm-hmm.
according to my budget, to my income. But also, you need to go back to the mortgage advisor.
Yeah.
Yes, the expert, because I'm not an expert. I'm I can only advise on personal financial management.
Yeah.
But for the mortgage, you need to go to the expert, and they will tell you how much money you're worthy of.
Yeah.
The money I was expecting that I was worthy of was not actually it. I
Yeah.
was a few euros less, a few thousand euros less.
Yeah.
So you need to go to the expert after, because they'll ask you if you have a first contract. They'll ask you if you have any debt. That's why I tell you to manage your debt wisely. They'll
Yeah.
ask even if it's a credit card debt. They'll ask if you have a debt. They'll ask you if you have any savings, and you need to have savings. You need to have, I think, between 5 and 10% of the amount of money you need to you need that the mortgage loan for. And then, yeah, they'll they'll ask you for a few documents, the contract, if you have a contract for your job. And then they'll schedule an appointment. Yeah, that's the inventory they usually ask for. And then they'll schedule an appointment, and they'll tell you how much you're worthy of. And they'll first ask you, because you need to know where you want to buy the house, where you want to stay, and why. You need to have the why, uh,
Mm.
just for the inventory, just to understand you better. So you need to have all that. You have all those answers, and they will advise you on how to go about it, and how much money you need for uh, the process, and how they can help you. That's for the mortgage advisors, honestly. That's only what I can tell you. And because I'm telling you, because I've gone through this process.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
And we will be organizing a specific session, Lindsay, right here on the UCN Connect with Khan podcast, specifically about mortgages, because it's not just you who's asked, but there's some questions that are coming up also in another platform that we're corresponding with about this same issue, and we are working with the team to find the best people and the best resources aligned to just get everything aligned to have a specific session for mortgages about this. And also that's the same with the issue of investment, because Andrew comes back and says, speaking on what Sheila said, what investment avenues are available in the Netherlands? And maybe we hinted a bit on this, but just to what I can say here, Andrew, is I would rather you start with what your interests are, what you're interested in, rather than looking for what's out there that's available. First, get clear on what your interests are, and then you start looking for investment opportunities that are in line with your interests, because it's easier for you to. I'll give you an example. If we're talking about cryptocurrencies, that's an avenue for investment. But if it's not in any way an area of interest for you, it's
Mhm.
going to just, everything will just be flying over your head. You'll be like, okay, yeah, whatever they're saying. I don't know. But there's all sorts of things. There's shares. There's digital platforms. People are starting businesses on online, just using the comfort of their own home and an internet connection and a mobile device, and they're setting up businesses, literally having a digital platform. So the avenues are endless, but this is a topic that I think we're going to have, because it's wide, and we don't want to skim over it and don't give it justice. So we request that we're going to be packing this part and going to be bringing a specific session that will also be talking about investing here in the Netherlands, compared to back home. There are advantages when it comes to both, and it depends on what you want. Because indeed, what you mentioned, that there's a big discussion, but you would love a context to the Netherlands. Maybe Caroline can share something there, and then we'll move on into mindsets.
Yeah, for investing here compared to back home, it depends on your personal aspiration. What I mean, where do you see yourself? Do you call Netherlands home? Then say where home is, where you call home. Period. And yeah, it's this is a wide discussion and a very big discussion that I've also engaged in. But for me, I think personally, I personally want to retire back home in Uganda, and because it's my second home, despite the fact that I'm a Dutch citizen. And that's where my reason comes from, that I need to invest back home as well as here, because my life here, I have a life here as well as in Uganda. So if resources allow me to invest, I can invest in both countries, because I have the ability to travel every now and then, every time I want to. But there are people who do not have that mobility chance. So it's there are so many factors to look at, honestly,
And then
when it comes to saving here. But sorry, to investing back home or here.
and then
Yeah.
and this is really good. Thank you so much, Caroline and Andrew. We will pick this up because there is really a lot that we could look into, and the different avenues, like what Caroline was sharing. But the short answer to the question is both. Whether to invest in Uganda or in the Netherlands, it depends on what your priorities are. If you have interests in both countries, then it's both. If your main interests, or all your interests are in the Netherlands, then invest in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
If your interests are all in Uganda, then, but if you have interests in both countries, I would say both. And but we will get back to this. And Lindsay says thank you. So I want us to talk a bit about mindset, because I understood that all of success is 95% mindset
Mhm.
and 5% mechanics.
Yeah.
So I want us to talk about the mindset behind financial resilience. And the context in which I want to talk about this is financial stress, for example, affects mental health.
It does.
People start with financial stress and they end up with a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
How can families stay motivated while juggling these multiple financial responsibilities?
I would say that for families, and I would like to because families comprise of individuals,
Yeah,
adults, and the mental breakdown also affects the children. But if for adults, you understand what your financial stand is,
yeah,
and you don't bring any stressful decisions into your finances, then it can solve your financial problems.
yeah,
But also, if you find yourself in a space where you're stressed, outsource for knowledge.
yeah,
Look for coaches. Therapy is, if you can go for different types of therapies,
yeah,
you can also find a coach,
yeah,
a personal financial management coach,
yeah,
who can help you understand where your stress comes from, and you manage it you manage it with a profession.
yeah,
Talk about it. Don't die alone,
yeah,
because we all face the same challenges. You're not alone. Come out. It's like being a drug addict. If you don't come out to stress out your problem, then it will be yeah, you'll have more challenges.
yeah,
But if you come out and say, you know what, I'm facing this challenge, probably the person you're talking to will have, especially go to people you know that they've beaten that problem, they've beaten that stress, they're now managing their finances better,
yeah.
and talk about it.
And then,
Secondly, outsource for knowledge, listen to podcasts for me, or read books if you're a reader. For me, I'm not a reader. Even in class, if I miss class, I miss it almost. I miss 99% of the information because I'm not a reader. And yeah, it's a personality, but
yeah,
I pass my exams.
yeah,
But then, what I was saying, listen to podcasts. What I do, I listen to podcasts.
yeah,
There are people who have read books,
yeah,
outsource for knowledge, because it's very important to be knowledgeable, acquire wisdom, such
yeah,
that you do not get stressed.
yeah.
Yes, so that's what I would advise you.
Wow, this is good. This is good. Thank you so very much, because indeed, knowledge is the new currency of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And we just have to get to that place that we acknowledge that when we don't know something, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. Asking for help does not mean that we are weak,
Yeah.
but rather it just means that we want to remain strong in the area in which we're strong. If I ask for help with my finances, it doesn't mean I am not a good parent.
Mm-hmm.
uh, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person if I don't know how to manage my money, because if nobody taught me about money, how am I going to be able to manage money if I don't know? So asking
Exactly.
for help does not mean that something is wrong with you. And I think we should normalize reaching out.
Yeah,
That,
because
hey, somebody
this
says,
is,
hey,
sorry
I
to
need
cut you
some
short.
help here. Yeah,
This is not information we get from school.
yeah,
So you won't be held liable for not understanding this, because we don't get it from school. We don't get it anywhere. We just see ourselves failing financially.
yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody teaches us about money, and yet they expect us to be able to
Money,
manage and work with money all our life.
yeah.
So I think it's right and proper, rather than suffering in silence when we notice that we are being stressed out financially.
Yeah.
That the stress that we are feeling financially is leaning into the mental. That we don't let it get out of hand.
Mhm.
So this, I think it's very important that you really get our hearts as far as this is concerned. If you miss everything that we said, don't miss this.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very important. And just talking about Caroline, just getting back into the experience that you've had working with the people that you've worked with, migrants, what's one financial habit that you believe every Ugandan family in the Netherlands should adopt from today?
Kindly, Ugandan immigrants, Ugandan families, dear Ugandan families, have budgets and adhere to them.
Ho, ho,
Two,
ho.
Ugandan families, my beautiful people, it's never too late. It's never too late. Start now. Don't hold yourself accountable. Don't think, yeah, now I've failed for the past 40 years. I've not saved anything. It's never too late. Let's run the race. Let's start saving. If you save 10 euros this month, next month it will be 20 euros. Before you know it, you'll have 100 euros, 1,000 euros. And you know what? You'll start having an emergency fund. When you have issues, when that time that we don't want to talk about repatriation, they won't have to go for the GoFund thing. No, you'll have your money with you. Yeah? You'll be a rich dead body.
You can make plans.
Yeah, honestly speaking now, yeah, because it's been really so serious, so we need to laugh about it. But you at least if it requires 20,000 euros, you'll have at least 15,000. And we shall only have to look for 5,000 for you to be repatriated.
And then
For your children to have driving lessons. I mean, it will be a gift because you've saved. It won't be an obligation for them to start saving, to start looking for money to go for driving lessons. I mean, it's beneficial. Start as early as now. It's never too late. But let society not drive you into spending what you do not want to. I mean, what you wouldn't want to spend into. So, extra sources of income. I want to give you 6, or rather 7, because 7 is a prophetic number.
Yes, so, please.
The other take home. It's not it's not how much we earn. It's how much we save. That's why you see people earning big amounts of money. They do not have actually, if you go deeper, they actually do not have money. And people you think do not have money actually have money because they have saved. They have learned the philosophy. They've gotten the grip of saving. Save. But also, I think this is number 7. It's not how much you save, it's how much you invest, because it's investments that make us the money, not the savings. Period.
Wow. This is bang on the money. Thank you so much, Carolyne. This is good. You reminded me of a quote by one of my mentors, Jim Rohn. He says, rich people save and they spend what's left. And the poor people spend and they want to save what's left. But the problem is that there's nothing left.
Exactly.
So save fast.
I'll go back to going back to podcasts. For me, my go-to person my go-to person when I need financial knowledge is a Ugandan gentleman called Newton Buteraba. This man, Newton Buteraba, he's Ugandan. I don't know any other person. I don't know any other white person, books. This is the guy I listen to, and because he's Ugandan, I I relate to what he is talking about
Yeah.
when it comes to
He,
money. And
he
you know
brings
what?
it. Yeah.
We are walking the journey.
Yeah.
I'm there because we have a plan with him. He doesn't know me, but we have a plan with him out of the podcast he's making. So
Absolutely
just
amazing.
get that one person or two people that you can follow.
Kudos to you, Mr. Newton Buterawa, House
Yeah.
of Wealth.
House
We,
of Wealth.
we acknowledge you and the impact that you've had on us as far as this is concerned. If you know Newton Buterawa, let him know that we spoke about him today. I have also been greatly inspired by the work he's doing. I was actually in one of his master classes
Mm.
last month. He,
Yeah, we had a master class
and
last
it
time.
was quite mind expanding.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff and he's a man of experience.
Yeah. And you know
So
the reason why you relate with him, whatever he's talking about, you relate with him, with
it's
what he's saying.
relatable,
Yeah. You resonate with him. Yeah.
most definitely. And this has been quite inspiring, Caroline. This has been quite encouraging. This has been quite
Thank you,
educating.
Kenny. Thank you.
Uh, I mean, I do these sessions and I have my own selfish reasons because I am also a beneficiary of the material that I receive or that comes through. And you've really spoken to my heart. I
I'm
have
glad I have. I
I
have.
have some notes that I've made and some homework to do for myself. And we are going to continue this conversation. But just what I wanted to ask is if somebody is watching us today and they would like to get in touch with you, where can our listeners, our viewers, follow you or access more information to learn more about financial resilience and the kind of work that you're doing?
I haven't yet started making any podcast or any recorded information yet. But if anyone wants to talk to me about their personal financial management issues, or they can get me on my LinkedIn, and Carolyne Nakiryowa, or on Facebook. That's my name, Carolyne Nakiryowa, or on my socials. I use my name, Carolyne Nakiryowa, and they will get me. And I
Absolutely.
respond to messages, and yeah, we shall always get in touch.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to 100 minutes.
Woo!
And I just want to to bring this in with this one. Do you have any final words of encouragement to our viewers who are striving for financial resilience?
Yeah, dear viewers, we need to move this journey together. Don't hide. Don't hide in your blankets. Don't lock yourselves in your houses. Don't die poor. We need to move forward because this is a community that needs to develop. Let's move together. Look for us. Look for Kenneth. Look for Shamila. Look for me. Look for anyone else. Look for help. Communicate. Don't die stressful. Let's walk this journey. We need to build a legacy. It has to start with us. If previous people never talked about finances, now this is the time for us to talk about finances. This is the time for us to start making investment clubs as Ugandans. This is the
Exactly.
time to build legacies. This is the time to break bondages, to break chains. This is the time. Let's just hold our hands together. The weak will the strong will hold the weak, and we shall move. No one will die. Don't let yourself die alone. That's what I want to tell you. That's what I want to encourage you. And believe in God. Believe in God for a change.
Indeed. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so very much, Caroline. This has
You're
been
welcome, Vanessa.
very inspiring. This has been wonderful. This has been elevating. and
Thank you,
quite
Ken.
mind expanding. We're going to continue the conversation. We will schedule the follow up session about investment, because I think the we didn't have enough time to even get into the investment as far as this is concerned, because I
Yes,
don't like these sessions going longer than 90 minutes, because then it loses its meaning. But we are already 100 minutes in, and I really believe this is a good place to just bring it in for a landing. We will
yes.
have another opportunity to have another session. I want to thank you so much on behalf of the Ugandan community in the Netherlands and the Career Advancement Network. I want to acknowledge you for the work that you've done, for the journey that you've been on, Caroline, and for the impact that you've made, because you being here today is a testament of the work and the sacrifices you've made so far. So thank you for everything, the sleepless nights, the long nights, the stress, and so that we don't have to stress. You went through stress.
Thank
And
you,
so
Ken.
we appreciate you for that. And we say thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. And I take this as an honor to be invited here and to speak to souls out there. And dear members, thank you so much for listening. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for your participation. I'm looking forward to further discussing this deeper. There is a reason as to why I ended with investment. We need to discuss that deeper, and maybe to have someone else to discuss about investment. I'm looking forward to having you again. Thank you so much. And I
Thank,
love you so much.
thank you so very much, Caroline. So our viewers and listeners, it's 7:42 right now. We've been on for 102 minutes. And with that, would like to pack it here and say God bless you and have a good evening.